Hello guys, we are back with the late game. Red Eye has departed, but now we have Gemini. How you doing, Gemini?
I'm seeing my name so weird. Like,
I don't know, Red Eye, Gemini.
oh, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah? Alright, cool. Steven, a really important question for you. You ready for this?
I don't know, man. What's up?
If you were a wizard and you could cast a patronus, what would your patronus be?
A giant vagina. How am I supposed to answer that question, dude?
I don't know, man. What's your
Are you
fucking
asking
animal?
Like a,
Would it be
what's my
Aslan?
favorite animal?
Would it be
No,
Aslan?
I don't. No, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Okay.
God, Christ. All
Are
right.
we allowed to do dogs?
Yeah, you can be dog.
Oh, well then my patronus would be your mom. Get it? 'Cause she's a bitch? Get it? That was a pretty good one.
No,
Okay.
no, that's good. Gemini, what would your patronus be?
Wait. Okay, I don't follow. Okay, I don't know all the specific crazy stuff of Harry Potter. Okay, like what's the what is like a Patronus like?
It's a fucking shield from a Dementor. God damn.
Oh, the thing that you think of like when like to get rid of him or whatever. Right?
Yeah, yeah. So
It's like your spirit animal to scare away the Dementor dudes, yeah.
Oh yeah, Liquid Hero, of course. Right?
All right, cool. Well, all right. Let's real quick. Let's talk about Apocalypse Esports. Apocalypse Esports. 12 days ago, new team, right? And they weren't just some team that coming on and like, hey, we're gonna pick up some like C League fucking NA players. Like they brought on Wellmu, who's a very accomplished,
Damn.
very skilled
The
player.
legendary.
The legendary Wellmu. But I mean, you know, he's not just your average run of the mill fucking, you know, ladder hero, right? You know, they picked up a few other people, and so to some degree, it was like, okay, they got some lower tier foreigners, but they got some really good, you know, high top 16 possible finishes at DreamHack kind of people. And then they just kind of shit the bed. So, I mean, you know, I don't know if there's anything else we could say about it, really, Steven. Is it just another case of, you know, someone having a bright idea of bringing in and, you know, starting a tournament and then being in over their head?
I don't know, dog. What do you want me to say? A team shows up, picks up 5 fucking people out of nowhere, and then disappears 2 weeks later? Like, am I supposed to be surprised? Weren't we all saying this?
So,
yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone thought this was gonna happen the second it was revealed. Like I saw the announcement,
Yeah.
I was like, well, all right, let's see how long this one lasts. Like 2 months, 3 months, a year, not even like.
Here's the thing.
They didn't even last as long as the one oh god, what was the other team that was for like 20 days or whatever?
I don't remember.
It started with like
there was another team that showed up. Oh man. I don't remember.
Like,
Someone in chat will say it. God.
It was like Eclipse something or something like that.
Was it Eclipse?
No, it wasn't.
Might have been.
It's not
Was Scarlet on this team?
No, she was always
The one
on
that came and left. Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. I don't remember who it was. What happened? What are we laughing at?
The link in chat.
Where? What?
Oh fuck! Hold on. Let me get it. There you go.
Oh, it was just my game against Gemini. Uh oh. Fucking got him.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, sorry. So I don't know what the other team was. I think the thing that just kind of got me right back in the day when there would have been a time where I might have actually pretended this team was going to succeed. You know, there was that time when I get a few months to be delusional, right? And be like, nah, guys, it's going to be okay. No, this fucking team comes in and is like 12 days later, just fucking done. I don't know. I think that's only the real reason I wanted to bring it up is just because someone asked me today, why would someone go into this like that? Like, you know, these teams come in and then they don't have the money to pay for any of these players. And my thought is this. I like to think that people they're not retarded and they're not malicious and they're not trying to scam, because I don't know what the kind of scam this could have been. What I like to think happens is people get this really good idea, like, hey, let's bring, you know, some money to the NA scene. Let's prop these players up. Let's help them really compete, right? And so this person sees a boost in StarCraft viewership and they're like, we're going to do this. And maybe he has a little bit of money saved up. I don't know. From what I understand, he didn't even get the first month payment out, though. So maybe these people think they're going to get a team started and then they're going to get sponsors real quick, like, right? And then, boom, they're going to be saved. It's going to bail them out. And then it doesn't take, and this shit happens. So maybe other teams actually have a little money first, and they get a month or two of payments out. I don't know. Either of you have a thought on that before we move on?
Just seems like stupid shit to me, man.
It just seems like people like going over their heads, like they think that they can do something, and then it just like falls flat on their face, like it's just too big when you don't think it would be as like difficult or something like that. Or I mean, like this guy could have been like crazy in the past or something. Like I read like the article that says like the wife said she's like done bailing him out or whatever. Like so like apparently this dude's done some weird shit before. So I mean, this guy might like just have a weird history in that, and then he tries to like, oh yeah, let's make a StarCraft team. No, it's just like, well, no, you can't really just do that.
Maybe this is like his fourth team in esports, right? And he just moved on to StarCraft. He's done Team Fortress 2, maybe Hearthstone, and she just keeps having to pay out the last salaries for these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So do you think there's any significance? Let's move on. There's Brood War. Tasteless and Artosis, they got to cast in Brood War. It was pretty exciting. I don't know enough about the scene to really comment on the players who played or anything like that, but do you have any? Did you get a chance to watch it, Gemini?
I saw the ZV. I saw like a game of the ZVZ. I didn't because like they're on weird. They're on like at 5 in the morning or whatever, so I can't actually watch them live. So I didn't actually see Bisu play, which is like the Protoss person that I would actually like want to watch. But the only thing that I noticed was interesting is how much of a difference Tasteless sounds when he's casting the game that he's like good at. Like I just watched like 5 minutes of the first like game or whatever, and like it just sounded like he was like in his element instead of actually like whenever I hear him cast StarCraft 2, it sounds like he's like kind of just trying to like make some stuff up as he goes along at some points, and it doesn't sound like he knows like everything, all the nuances and stuff. But then when I listened to him like do the Brood War one, he was just like rattling off like this, like fact after fact, like you need to do this, he sees this, and then like it sounded like as if like Day 9 was like doing something from StarCraft 2. Like it just sounded like he was in his element. I just thought that was really interesting. But I didn't
Yeah.
actually really see much of the games. Like I don't know that much about. I just know like the general trends of what Brood War is, just because I didn't play it like competitively. But yeah, that's the only thing I like paid attention to.
Yeah. Steven, I assume you didn't watch it, but just as a fan, does it excite you to hear Brood War getting 14,000 viewers on an English
Um,
stream?
yeah, I mean, it sounds cool. I don't have like any strong opinions about it though.
Okay. Well, so for those of you who didn't know, Tasteless Artosis, they did cast Brood War. What was the finals? Do you know what the league is, Gemini? That was the finals of?
For that Brood War tournament?
Yeah,
No,
I don't either. Not too familiar with Brood War, but
I wasn't. I mean, like I don't follow the Brood War tournaments now, so
I think the cool thing was, and I got to catch a little bit of not the finals, but the one before it, is I've never understood much about Brood War. I've sat down to play it a few times, but to actually see and hear, Tasteless Artosis explaining what's going on in Brood War, it was really exciting. It was really cool to actually, have something explained to me than sitting with a bunch of people in Skype group and them saying, what are they doing now, and then typing it out, okay, this is what's going on. So it's cool. I hope that they continue to do it because then I might actually start to follow it a little more. Let's talk about DreamHack Leipzig. Let's talk about Germany, Steven, and you and your poker game. What was that like? I mean, was it exciting sitting at that table and playing?
Yeah, for all the 2 hands I was there, I got pretty fucked. I got a really big cooler on like the second hand.
So I don't know
But
much about the poker and the way betting works, but it looks like you had a lot of chips and didn't need to go in. Did you need to go all in at that time?
I mean, it was debatable. It wasn't horrible. I mean, I talked to enough professionals that were there that said it was a cooler. I might have been able to avoid going broke on it, but it was like a really really hard. Like there are pros that would lose in the same spot. So I mean, I don't know. I don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, it was. What's a cooler?
Just a really unlucky hand. He flopped a really good hand, and I flopped a really good hand. He flopped the best hand possible, and I flopped the third best hand possible. So it was like a really rough. Like it was hard to say that he had exactly that hand. It was a hard hand to fold.
The flop that was he had like a 2-3 and the flop was like 4-5-6 or something like that, right? So he just got
Something like that. He
Okay.
flopped the straight, and I had a set on the flop.
Damn, that's rough.
Even in the absolute worst case scenario, if he would have flopped the absolute nuts, which he did, I was still only behind. It was like 36-64, so I still would have won it 1 out of 3 times. But
Okay.
yeah,
That's not terrible.
Yeah.
Did you calculate that like between then and now, or are you that knowledgeable about poker that as you're playing the
Yeah,
game?
it's not hard to do. If you're chasing a full house and you already have a set, then like a lot of the odds are the same. Like if you've got 9 outs, then you know that you have like about 40% of a chance to get it by the river. You remember it after a while.
Okay. Gemini, let's talk about StarCraft real quick. DreamHack,
Okay.
Leapsake. Any particular Protoss moments that stuck out for you, since Protoss is your specialty?
Um, I'll be real. I didn't watch all that much of DreamHack just because I'm on the like like fuck WCS bandwagon, but not really. But like there's just not as many Koreans, so I didn't watch as much of it. It's also about shitty time. Since I wake up super late, so I didn't see much of it. Um, there's not that much like actual Protoss. I'd watched a lot. I saw the GSL and SSL VOD, so I know more how to talk about that in regards to those games. But I saw the ZVZs, the two like ZVZs from Bly versus Hydra and Violet, and I was just like, whenever I watch Bly, I feel like he's just like is winning games that he shouldn't, or like he's playing in a weird way that should never end up winning. Like he just keeps attacking nonstop, and it's just really weird. And it seems like he just wins by forcing his opponent to feel in like he's in an awkward situation. Like I don't know if like Destiny, did you see the games of that he actually played, or have you ever played against Bly?
Yeah, I saw the last 3 games he played against Hydra.
Like is that like a normal ZVZ that happens with that? Because
I
it
don't
just
know.
seemed like he
Hydra is
was.
just getting thrown off. I'm not really sure how. I don't think he should have lost either.
Especially
Yeah,
the
I don't know.
especially like the last game versus Violet when it was like the base race and he literally won with 4 mutas or something. Like I feel like that's like
Well, the
he
last
should.
one he lost because he wasn't Bly able to drop Banelings into his main. He missed it by like a few pixels. His overload wasn't down enough.
Yeah, well. No, I think that was that on Runes of Ceres the second game, or
Maybe I'm mixing it up with the
I
last
don't know.
game.
I just remember the last game was on the Freon, I think, with the like old bases and shit, and like it was just like a base race, and he won because he had 4 mutas and Violet didn't have anything that could attack air. But it was just like it just seems like he's playing so weird, and he should never win. And then I didn't see the actual finals because it was on at like whatever like 6 a.m. because they decided to do it at the weirdest fucking time ever. So I didn't see how he actually played the ZVP, but it looked like he got kind of dumpstered. So I don't know. Maybe ZVZ is like his element because he can just play really weird and stuff. But it was just strange.
Steven, did you get to watch the finals when you were there?
No, because I had to set up for the poker stuff.
Okay. So, Petit Drogo Bly, did you watch that one, Gemini?
No, I just said it in.
Okay, I was making sure that's the one. All
Yeah.
right. Let's talk about GSL and SSL. That's something a little bit more that you cover. And I know there are a lot of people who have complained in the past about us not covering too much of the Korean StarCraft. So go ahead and take it away, just the moments that have stuck out with you in the last couple weeks.
Of course, like I'm gonna talk about Protoss because that's my main race or whatever. It's the one that I actually like played at a GM level at some point to make Destiny raged about spamming storms like a dipshit. Just kidding. So I was just kind of looking at the trends of like PvZ and PvP now. Like I'll just talk about PvZ since Destiny's here and I can ask him some questions about it too. But it seems like for PvZ we pretty much have one style to go for now as Protoss. We just have to kind of go Phoenix, Immortal, Archon, charge slot with or without the Phoenix and like like if you get the Phoenix if you want to go macro, and then you'd kind of get rid of the Phoenix if you don't, if you kind of just want to like end it all really quickly. And it seems like everything else is like either just an all in, or if you try to go like disruptors, you have to kind of hit at a time where like you can't really continue going with that, because if they get a large lurker count at some point, then they're just going to be you're never going to be able to actually attack into that. So I feel like there's only like one actual solid style that you can do at all in PvZ right now, and I don't know if that's like a good or a bad thing, just because the style itself is really interesting. Because Charge Lot Immortal Archon is like in general like kind of like an active army comp. It's very interesting to watch, and you can usually incorporate a lot of War Prisms with it as well. So you have a lot of like multi-pronged War Prism harass too. So it's really interesting to watch, and it's a cool interaction, especially when you have lurkers in it as well. So like, I don't know like what's gonna happen once this Mothership Core nerf comes in. The Adept nerf isn't really gonna do anything to PvZ, but the Mothership Core nerf is gonna really limit Protoss openings as well, because we kind of have to be a little greedy with our third base to be able to actually get anywhere. And so like I don't know if like I'm just gonna ask Destiny if like you feel like that's gonna be a thing like Roach Ravager pushes. I feel like are gonna be like super freaking ridiculous strong at this point. Like once that patch goes in,
I mean,
you really only have like one kind of opening in a way, and just like a couple of different ways to get there.
I mean, if a Roach Ravager push was going to work, I don't know if the Photon Overcharge change would be that big of a difference. I guess so. What you're saying now, like you could go in and bait out the overcharges easier and then back up. But I mean, you could
Yeah.
kind of bait them out now because Protosses have like ADHD and will like activate 50 million cannons like instantly. Like I don't know if
Well, I
it'll be
mean,
like
if
that
you
big of a
go if you
difference.
play versus like smart people that don't just spam 10.
Unfortunately I just started playing NA or EU today, so I haven't had a chance to play against any good Protosses because I just played NA before. So I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know. I do agree that it kind of seems like Protosses have been kind of pigeonholed into like just like one or two openings right now. I don't know if that's because Protosses haven't experimented with anything or if it's because everything else genuinely sucks. Um, Disruptors, I don't see them really as much anymore too. You bring that up, like it feels like the Archon. I feel like Archon Zealot, and then maybe like Phoenixes and Immortals. The nice thing about that control or that group is that it's really easy to control. Not to shit talk Protosses or anything, but like when you have like Disruptors and Blink Stalkers and Sentries and everything going off, like that shit is really annoying to deal with. And the micro for that is much more difficult. Whereas Charge Line Archon pretty much plays itself out, and then the Phoenix can run around and zip zoopity whatever the fuck they want, and the Immortals will stay in the back, and everything is like pretty self-explanatory. So. Yeah, I do agree that that unit comp is pretty strong. I don't know how much the nerf on the Photon Overcharge will affect the matchup. I guess you'll see Zerg starting to try a whole bunch more 2-base Sullens maybe, or 3-base like heavy pressure. So I guess we'll just see how it plays out.
Yeah, that's fair. But because it seems just like that, you'd kind of have to go for Immortal Archon and then hope that you can kind of break them with Phoenixes to pick up lurkers and whatnot, and then you kind of just transition to like some like Sky Toss and High Templar if he gets too turtly. But if you can't really do that if you go for like Stalker Disruptor like you used to, people used to just like get enough disruptors to be able so you can just send out shots to like 2-shot lurkers, and then you'd eventually be able to break them. But then they got to the point where Zergs would just like make a crap ton of lurkers, and you can't actually effectively do that anymore because you're just kind of killing one thing at a time, and you need to be killing a lot. So I feel like there's like no other. And since Colossus are terrible now, it's literally a trash garbage unit that should never be made in a PvZ. Like, there's no. I don't. I don't feel like there's any other like strong composition at this point. And like while it is a cool thing, it's not like it's like a cool composition. It's not really good to have only one thing that you can do, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, cool. Any other thoughts, Gemini?
Not really. I could go on about how PvP is really terrible compared to HOTS and how I noticed some other weird openings, but I don't think anyone actually cares about that, so I won't bother with that.
Why do we hate? Well, why is PvP worse now than it was before? I thought the PvP was better now.
Okay, I guess that's kind of an interesting topic. People always say that because people keep saying that new PvP is really cool because like it's more action packed and interesting because it's like disruptor shots going off all over the place and explosions equal like excitement apparently. But it's like such a stress fest to play. Like you look away from your army for like literally 2 seconds, not even, and all of your army is completely evaporated, and you can't really know what's going on the entire time unless you have an oracle going around revelationing everything. And if you don't have that and they do, then you kind of have to just sit back and pretty much you can't attack because they know exactly where you are the entire time. And up until that point, there's not much opportunity to scout after your first like adept or probe because you can't get sentries early on anymore to be able to do early hallucinated scouts. You have to wait until you have until your warp gate's done so you can actually warp them in because you have to be getting adepts or stalkers early on to be able to counter their adepts or stalkers if they're going to be doing some early aggression. So you can't get early sentries because they'll just die to adepts really quickly. So you can't actually scout. So it feels like you're playing really blind all the way up until you have 3 bases and you don't really know what's going on. And it just like I don't know if that's just me being terrible and like I haven't figured it out yet, but it just seems like it's very it's just not as diverse as it used to be. Like you used to have all these cool openings. You have like 20 different things that you could possibly do, and I guess some people don't like that because it leads up to like coin flippy builds and stuff and whatnot. But I guess people just see all like the dodgeball, like Disruptor Fest explosions and think that's really exciting, but I don't know, it's not as interesting to me as the strategic like counters and whatnot from like the early builds from the HOTS.
Do you still get into a lot of clusterfucky moments in PvP where like one disruptor shot completely wins or loses the game?
Um, yes, I personally try to go as like I don't play disruptors in PvP just because I just hate the interaction. And this has been becoming more popular as well in pro games. Like I saw Hero CJ Hero do it in Hurricane as well. They go charge lot Archon Immortal, and then if they want, they add Phoenix as well. It's basically like PvZ, like versus lurkers. You just lift up the disruptors after they shoot, so it disables the disruptor shot, and then you just go in with the composition because it's way better against stalkers. Um, that's what I try to do, and it's a little like if you actually lift up the disruptors, it's more forgiving. Um, but if when I see myself going like disruptor and blink stalker versus the same thing, then it's just like I feel like if I look away for half a second, then I'm gonna get jumped on and lose my whole army. Like I definitely had one game like that the other week where I was just like I'm gonna kill myself. Like it's just ridiculous and annoying to play.
Gotcha.
Steven, I actually want to ask you, since we talked about PvP a little bit, I want to ask your thoughts on ZVZ right now. I feel like it is a matchup that has truly benefited from Legacy of the Void. And it just seems to be one that can be extremely, extremely exciting and doesn't kind of get into that roach puking stuff anymore. What are your thoughts from your experience?
I mean, if you make it to the mid game, I think it's very interesting. The openers right now feel very coin flippy, especially on gold based maps. You get into a lot of like, okay, well, pull first, auto beats, fast expand to the gold, fast expand to the gold, auto beats, normal safe expand, auto beats. You know, the quick pull build. Like, I feel like it can get pretty coin flippy in the openers, and then on 4-player maps as well. Where like on a 4-player map, I don't think it's possible to hold off like a 13 pool or 14 pool. If you do like a hatch first opener because you don't know that it's coming for so long. So the only way to hold it off is to do hatch first and then play like super safe. But if you play too safe and the other person does like 3 hatch, then like you lose. Like I don't know, the openers feel a little silly, but otherwise, yeah, the mid and late game for ZVZ are definitely very interesting.
What are your current favorite openers?
I don't know. I just kind of, it depends on the map. I do a lot of different shit right now. Sometimes I'll do like the 14 pool, but I'll hide all my lings in the base until speed finishes, and then I send them all to the opponent. That seems to win like a ton of games. Sometimes I do 3 hatch before pool if I think the opponent is going to play like conventionally. And then other times I just do a standard hatch opening. Just depends.
Okay.
Do you feel like ZVZ is better now than what it was in
Yeah, I
HOTS?
think so. Yeah, HOTS is horrible. HOTS was just roach versus roach every single game. It's really fucking boring.
Do you
So you don't find it being like Roach Ravager versus Roach Ravager every game? Like that's not a thing.
Not me
anymore?
because I go Muta into Lurker, so I don't deal with that. But
what are your
I
thoughts
guess
on
if
the parasitic bomb change?
I don't know. I kind of like it right now. I feel like every race has the ability to just completely and fucking totally annihilate everything that the enemy has in the sky. Protoss have Archon and Storm, and like that seems to kill shit pretty fast. The Parasitic Bomb seems to kill shit pretty fast. Terran have the Liberators that seem to obliterate things pretty fast. Don't know if the Parasitic Bomb nerf needs to happen. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
I feel
not.
like
I'm not a big fan of it. I like that everything is like really powerful right now in a lot of different races. I'm not a big fan of tweaking it this early, but yeah.
I was gonna say it feels like you kind of need it. You kind of need to like nerf it a little bit in terms of PVZs to make maybe like Sky Toss compositions more viable. But I don't even feel like I've been seeing that. Like I still see people go like Phoenix and Voidery and shit, and it's still like there's parasitic bombs, but they still end up winning anyway. But I don't know if that's just because they were ahead in the first place or like whatnot. But like I feel like people don't go for Muta Corruptor Viper. I mean that's super gas heavy, so I can understand why. But like going for like people used to do Muta Corruptor all the time in HOTS and for a certain point, like it was ridiculously strong. Um, and I feel like with Parasitic Bomb now it'd be like absolutely insane on paper, but I don't ever really see it anymore. I guess it's probably just because it's difficult to get there now because basically every Protoss is opening 2 Stargate Phoenix after their third to go into like the Phoenix Immortal charge lot composition. So like I don't know.
Yeah, you've also got like high Templar feedback range is still like I think as long as the parasitic bombs, you have to be really careful.
That's true.
Or if it's not as long, it's very close. So and then also if the Protoss is building big units like carriers and Tempest, it almost feels like a waste to drop parasitic bomb on that. It does do damage, but you're
Yeah,
not
like I've
annihilating
seen you play like a few games versus like the turtle toss people. Like you seem to I don't know what it is about you, but like you seem to play those people like the most out of any streamer I've ever watched. But like every time I see that and you like throw parasitic bombs on them, it seems like the carriers don't. They're tickling
Yeah,
them.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't seem to do much, but
All right. Let's see if we have anything else to discuss. Pull up the thread. Give me 1 second. I was worried for a second. I felt like, there was the break kind of just broke up the momentum of the show. We had a little bit of a lull, but you guys fucking brought it back, and I'm proud of you.
wow, thanks, buddy.
If this was a Little League game, we'd go to fucking Dairy Queen.
Wow.
All right. So I think that's actually it for the show. Let's see. Yeah. We're going to call it a night, guys. Gemini, thank you for coming on. I'm glad you were able to come on. Hope to in the future have you on a few more times. For those of you who don't know, I started a new show called the Evolution Chamber. It's where different pros and high-level players come on, and they do their own lessons. So they talk about what they want to talk about. Gemini did an episode. It was really great. You can find it at youtube.com/LycanGTV, because I think I actually did upload the VOD of that one. I'm like 3 VODs behind. I apologize. I'm also a VOD behind on the late game. Sue me. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Gemini, where can people find you? I know you have a little bit of social media.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, I guess, at ggemini19 if you want to see me, like whine about Protoss and post stupid memes that I find on Reddit and shit. I try not to do it that much, but if you want, you can. So you can follow me there if you want. You can, shit post me in real time. I always enjoy that. It's always some good interaction. If you want, you can also go to reddit.com/allthingsprotoss. If you're a terrible little new Protoss that actually needs some help and whatnot, we're a pretty accepting community, so you can ask for help and submit replays and stuff over there, and we have a bunch of other stuff. I post build of the weeks over there. I haven't done one in a few weeks actually, just because like school just started, so I haven't been able to actually put one out. But I just copied like 2 builds from GSL this morning, so I should have one out soon. But there's a whole like archive of all the different ones that I've done. So if you ever need that kind of stuff, then you can go there. And my Twitch is twitch.tv/GeminiSCTV. I don't really stream that much anymore though, so that's not as relevant, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, real quick, let's do a couple questions. I forgot I asked for questions today, so we'll run through them right quick. We already addressed that one. It's about you, your Twitter, and Thorin. We discussed that one. We might actually be done with questions real quick. Hey, what do you think of Hero getting into Code S?
Oh yeah, that's the other game I was going to talk about. I mean, it was great. Like, I'm not gonna go like full like fanboy crazy shit like right now. That's kind of weird. But I just thought it was really cool that, because like so many people were like shitting on him. Let's be real, because like Hero hasn't done anything in the last like half a year, like more than that. Like no one thought he was gonna do anything, and like even like against someone like Saxtree, who also has done literally nothing in the past like year. So to see like everyone was like saying on Reddit or whatever, like, oh yeah, Saxtree's gonna win Saxtree, whatever. Here's washed up, and then to see him 3-0, it's pretty cool. Like he's been like dealing with some shitty shit in the last year or so. Like he always tells me always like all this personal crap. So it's cool to actually see him win like a good thing for once, and it's really cool. And like the way he did it was like completely like his style too. Like he usually is always someone like, here we go, I'm gonna start fanboying. So like he usually starts going like all this like. He's really stubborn. Like he doesn't want to like do like the meta like crap, because it got really standard and kind of stale to a point. It didn't allow him to do anything that he wanted to, like crazy War Prism, weird, crazy shenanigan open builds and stuff. And like this style allows him to do that with the charge a lot of moral Phoenix stuff. Like that's his element, so he can actually do stuff with that. So it's really interesting and cool to watch. So it feels like you're watching like 2012 Hero again, where like that's how he got famous, through his crazy War Prism shit, and everyone really liked that. So it's really cool to actually see him be able to do his element and do the thing that he likes to do. So Yeah, there's my fanboy rant.
Okay. Steven, I don't know if you have a funny answer for this, and that's why it's being asked, but do you have a theory about why Thorin always wears his coat?
Didn't you say?
I don't have a fun answer. I don't know. He said he wanted to save on heating bills, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't know if there was like some thing that I'm not privy to yet that you make a funny joke or rant about it. I don't know, man. I just thought we'd see if we can get it.
He just wants you to like go on a Russell Fest so the chat goes insane and stuff. Like that's the point. We need
Nice
some
try,
views.
dude. A plus. That was a great. That was a great bait, buddy.
Episode 52 is not coming up. You know when you go to you're on Little League and you keep saying you're in the Pee Wee football and you keep saying coach put me in, coach put me in, and the more you ask, the less time you get on the field. That's what it's like when you ask me about VODs. I'm like, ugh, I feel stressed and I can't put you in. Can't put the VOD in. Map contest is announced. I mean, I'm sure everyone has an opinion to the effect of, hey, that's cool. I'm sure that, Steven, I'll ask you since you actually play on the ladder right now. Your thoughts on the map pool not changing. I mean, does that bother you?
I don't hate the map pool right now, but I don't have any strong opinions on it. I have my 3 downvotes that I used well, and then
Oh, dude, I
don't
hate
mind
the
playing on the
map.
master.
It's so bad.
Yeah, you're a Protoss. Protoss will always hate the map pool. There's never been a time in the history of Battlestar where Protoss is like the map pool. So
Nah, dude, when Frost and all those maps were in the map pool, that was a good map pool. That was a legit map pool.
when what?
Frost, those maps. I don't remember the other maps.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
but
getting
no,
Blink
that wasn't
all
the
in.
map. That wasn't. Yeah, no, that wasn't the map pool. That was just because Blink all-ins were so good.
No, I'll be real. Like I didn't play a lot of Blink Owens in that era. I'll be real. So this isn't like me just saying Blink Owens or whatever. I'm not just saying like I didn't.
Yeah,
do
but
it.
even if you didn't play Blink all-ins, like the threat of a Blink all-in is still enough to like influence the game a lot. I think.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I still like. I feel like if you brought Frost back now, like any point, it would still be good no matter what. I don't. That's just my opinion. I just thought it was like an insane map. It was really good.
All right. Serious question. Gemini, today on the show, we talked about how hard it is to kind of just say, like we talked about the StarCraft scene, to say harsh realities. It hurts you if you're a true fan. So I'm going to ask this for you. Is there any reason to continue cheering for CJ Hero or for Liquid Hero?
You want like a real answer? This isn't bait.
No bait.
Oh, I mean it's kind of like what Destiny was talking about with the with WCS changes. Like people have their own favorites or whatever. Like they have their own team, or like you said in college football or whatever. Like you have your own team. Like everyone has their like tradition of who they root for or whatever. It's like it's loyalty. Like you want to root for who you want to root for just because they're who they are or whatever. Like if you're just a front runner the entire time, that's not really that interesting, honestly. So like I've liked him since like whenever he went on to Team Liquid, so it was in August 2011 or July. No, I think it was August. And ever since then, I was just like, okay, this guy's legit. Like he's playing the game ridiculous. So I've always liked that. Like just because he's doing badly, like that's just gonna make me want to support him more. Just because he's feeling like shit, and I want him to feel better or whatever. I'm not just gonna be like leaving him on the dump or whatever. I don't know. It's loyalty. You don't like. I feel like that was like a bait question. I don't like. I didn't think. I feel like that's common sense, but maybe not. I should not underestimate Reddit, I guess.
Okay. All right. So 2 things real quick, lighthearted, and then we're going to go. Well, actually 3. Real quick, Gemini, what's your favorite skin for boost in Rocket League?
I play the Dominus with a what's that skin called? Scorpion, I think. It's the Scorpion skin, and then I have the Day 9 flag. I'll always rep that Day 9 flag, and I go cotton candy colors with blue and pink, and then I have the yellow and blue color, and then some like flamethrower boost. Yeah, it's
Cool.
pretty sick.
I never played Rocket League, so actually I have no fucking clue what any of that means. But nice username said he plays the bubbles. He likes the bubbles.
Oh, did nice username ask that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, nice fucking bait, Joey.
All right, so real quick, 2 not serious questions. So as you can see behind me, there is a fucking hole in the wall for people asking. Answer this question again. So the hole in the wall, I joked that my friend stayed up all night doing placement matches and then punch the wall at the end of them. But what actually happened is during the snowstorm, we're all locked in. He got really hammered, and his feet were all wet from going outside. He smokes a lot, so he smokes like twice an hour, and there was a big puddle around his desk, and he got up drunk and kind of just stumbled and fell back into it. And so we all, yeah, that was it. And someone asked if my refrigerator was running, and actually, funny story, it's not running. And the landlord is yet to fucking fix it, so I had to buy a mini fridge. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Is your ice maker working?
Yes, it is. The ice maker is...
Oh, well, all you have to do is just if you put enough ice cubes into the fridge, it'll cool down to the temperature, and then just never open it.
I could do that.
Is that like the same advice you'd say when like your CPU is overheating? Put an ice cube on it if you don't have a cooler for it. Like, the same.
Well, that only works if you have you need to have something to collect the water so it doesn't drip down in your motherboard. But otherwise, yeah, it should be good.
All right, Steven, I can't even do the joke. I was gonna ask for if people could follow you.
No, you can do yourself. Go to my, you can buy shit off my Amazon. Go to destiny.gg/Amazon. There you go. That's how you support your.
Hold on.
Gamer.
Does he have an Amazon wish list?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going like full cam horror. Oh.
No, not yet. I'll work on it though.
All right. Well, that's about it. I gotta stop clicking on links from your chat. We're gonna end the show here. You can follow me at Lycan TV, and thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And thank you again to Red Eye. He's not here. It was a good show with him. We'll see you all next week on the late game. Talk to you all soon. Wave goodbye, guys.
Bye.